बुलडोजर चलता रहे, दंगाइयों को सख्त सजा हो।
Bulldozing done, now time for Yogi Raj 2.0. BJP's mega Mukhyamantri returns. Double engine dhamal in Lucknow. Modi to electrify, Yogi's swearing in. Giant hopes of Naya Uttar Pradesh. Coronation 2.0 cements Yogi's Shakti. Monk in saffron lights up path to 2024. Bulldozer Yogi 2.0 begins.
I almost feel like...
Well, it is interesting. Lots of names coming up. The last one, which Rahul Srivastava also stressed on, Swatantra Dev Singh could very well also find his space in the cabinet, if not one of the deputy CM's chair. But word has it, if there is a confirmation coming in, right now none. But our sources tell us there will only be 2 deputy CMs. There was indication and speculation yesterday that there could be 3, and the third one possibly Baby Maurya. Well, that right now is not taking place. What we're given to understand, there will only be 2 deputy CMs. They say Keshav Prasad Maurya, even though he lost his own election, could very well find his spot in the sun as deputy CM again. But Dr. Dinesh Sharma could give way to A.K. Sharma. But what leaves of Swatantra Dev Singh, the party president in BJP, will he be the one who will also find a place where the cabinet is in question? A lot of other names, some of them which have come in from the Congress as well. We're going to keep getting our viewers the latest, but you know, as I am pointing out right now where we are standing, it's a spectacularly sunny day, one might say. It's blazing hot, and right now, in the next 3 hours, Yogi Adityanath's coronation ceremony will be taking place right behind me. I'll ask my camera person Sachin to actually show you the expanse of this stadium. It accommodates about 50,000 people. What's expected is that it's going to go over capacity to about 60,000 people. A lot of Karyakartas from across Uttar Pradesh have filtered in from various districts. Some on their own, some of course have come with the MLAs there. The entire cabinet of Yogi Adityanath, 50 will be taking oath today alongside with him. We're going to continue to get you the latest. For preparations, let's cut across to my colleagues. I have Abhishek Mishra who's joining me as well as Neha Batham. But Abhishek, give us a sense right now on what's expected. A lot of... Okay, Samarth Srivastava is joining us and Abhishek Mishra. But let's cut across to Samarth first. Samarth, give us an indication in terms of the guest list of what's expected. Yesterday, a lot of speculation in terms of names of celebrities. You know, today, it seems a peculiar choice in terms of Amitabh Bachchan, his name being confirmed. If he'll come, we'll only know at 4 p.m. But peculiar because his own wife, Jaya Bachchan, is a Rajya Sabha MP from Samajwadi Party, was rather vocal through the entire election and the campaign.
See, I've got the list of invitations being given by the UP government, and I'll just read out the names. There is CM of Haryana, Himachal, CM of Sikkim, CM of Uttarakhand, CM of Assam on board, CM of Goa, CM of Bihar, Nitin Gadkari, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Nishkant Dubey. Apart from that, if you could talk about the top traders of India, there is Kushagra Bajaj, Kumar, Mangalam Birla, and also there's the name of Amitabh Bachchan. So it's going to be seen whether they will arrive in the time to come in this around 4 p.m. when the swearing ceremony will take place. But what is currently happening out here, that almost all MLAs who were supposed to come inside the CM residence have arrived, and most of them have left from the residence. And what we got after talking to the MLAs, they clearly said it was just an informal meeting. Though what happened inside, nobody knows it, because it has been a trend for the Saffron Party. But what I can show you is the premises of CM residence, where faces like Brajesh Pathak, Asim Arun and Swatantra Singh and many other MLAs went inside and came outside. So this is the place which has become most happening Africana Stadium for today's date. So that is why the influence, so far more than 50 MLAs including ministers went inside, and it is being said that they can be the state ministers or cabinet ministers, which will obviously be known around 4 p.m. when the swearing in ceremony will take place. But there is a complete movement out here, and if you see the other side of the story, you will see a lot of music behind me, Bhagwa Lehrayenge, and also some people out here who were dancing in a Purvanchal style. They have got a special dance. So these are the visuals we are getting from the CM residence. At one hand, we see a lot of BJP leaders coming in and out, while on the other hand, we are seeing celebrations out here, just like BJP office, for the swearing in ceremony, as it is a big day and we just cannot ignore. And these kind of audios coming from behind me are the showing the clear picture that how excited the Saffron Party is for today's date. Yes.
Special invitees. He is reporting outside the Chief Minister's residence, getting us the latest there. But once again, I'll ask my camera person to actually show you the expanse of this stadium and to take our viewers through. It's a sea of saffron right from the city of Lucknow to the Ekana Stadium, Atal Stadium right here. Expecting about 50,000 people will go over capacity. I'll ask Sachin to actually show you the LCD screens. A lot of them have the Mandir picture. I'll ask Sachin to show you the LCD screens right there. A lot of LCD screens as well. And that's where all the cadre that is gathered here, the Karyakartas that have come from various districts, will be coming in here. And possibly these LCD screens are where you can get a closer look at what's actually going to happen on stage. The stage is right in front of us. We're going to slowly take you back to the stage there. This is where 50 of Yogi's newly minted cabinet would be sitting. They'll all be taking oath today. And the chief guest today is, of course, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Alongside with him will be the party President JP Nadda, the Home Minister Amit Shah. The Home Minister yesterday was the primary observer, under which unanimously Yogi Adityanath was nominated as the Legislative Party Chief. Both gave spirited speeches, and the culmination of what has been a very long campaign for the Bharatiya Janata Party. It's the first time, viewers, if you actually get on to the numbers of it all, in 37 years that any party is coming back to power in consecutive terms. And Yogi Adityanath, and I can also actually tell you, I was, in 2017, I was, there to witness the oath taking of Yogi Adityanath, and that happened in a field of sorts, a Maidan. Today it's happening in a stadium. At that point of time, Yogi Adityanath was a surprise candidate. Many would suggest possibly a compromise candidate, and he's owned it in the last 5 years. This election was fought under his banner. A lot would be made out in terms of comparisons where who would be the true inheritor of Modi's legacy, because this kind of win has been scripted once again in 37 years, and it was fought under the chief ministership of Yogi Adityanath. I'd like to cut across right now as we continue to beam these visuals out to you live to my colleague Rahul Srivastava, who's in the studio with us. He's traveled through the expanse of Uttar Pradesh through the elections. He's joining us now once this election comes full circle. And Rahul, let's talk a bit about Yogi Adityanath. 2017, a surprise face, We all thought it's going to be somebody else, and it turned out lots of names were thrown in. Rajnath Singh, Manoj Sinha. Ultimately, it was Yogi Adityanath who took oath in 2017. But this election purely belongs to him. Do you see him somewhere down the line? Because we were talking to the cadre today, many making the comparisons of him possibly being the inheritor of Modi's legacy. Of course, it's too early, to say that. But would you take us through his journey?
Preeti, if you take a slightly distant look to this ceremony which you have been reporting since yesterday, you get a feeling that Yogi is receiving a kind of a treatment which the BJP has not accorded any other chief minister in the last 7 years since the rise of Narendra Modi. Now, that perhaps is the significance of Uttar Pradesh, and that's significance of Yogi Adityanath. Perhaps Yogi, if the BJP has realized that Yogi Adityanath is the monk who sold Hindutva 365 days, and that's somebody that the BJP needs to continuously keep UP engaged as an electoral entity, and perhaps Yogi to deliver on the policy and schemes, because as I've been saying, that Ration, Prashashan and polarization are going to be the mainstay. So if the BJP has to deliver better, Yogi, the BJP feels, has done better. And law and order, he has become kind of a cult with that bulldozer becoming the virtual symbol of the government and the chief minister. And then polarization, the saffron-robed chief minister is doing that. And that's where I think Yogi is becoming critical. I feel this is the first time in the last 7 years I have seen that yes, Narendra Modi had a dependence on somebody like Amit Shah for strategizing, for delivery, for execution, for implementation of political and other strategies. But this is the first time there is a signal being sent out that some political leader is useful for Narendra Modi. That Upyogi element for Yogi, for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, for 2024 is, I think, the underline of this entire exercise being carried out. Now, if that's what the BJP is doing today, that raises the significance of Yogi Adityanath. He joins the pantheon. Is he the number 2? Right now, we always say that there is nobody from number 1 to 10 behind Narendra Modi, and after that, the queue starts from the 11th. But Yogi is certainly there ahead of lot many if we talk about in terms of his place in the BJP's pantheon.
Okay. All right, let's cut across to Samarth, my colleague as well, who's joining us outside the Chief Minister's residence. Samarth, a lot of movement, VIP movement taking place outside the Chief Minister's residence.
I've got a bulldozer with me. You see a lot of workers out here. I'll try to speak to some of them. ये बुलडोजर आप निकाल रहे हो, क्या कहना चाहोगे इसके ऊपर?
देखिए, शपथ ग्रहण करने से पहले जितना बुलडोजर आज सड़कों पे दौड़ रहा है, पूरे प्रदेश के लिए बहुत शुभ संकेत है। यहाँ की जनता बहुत प्रसन्न है, आह्लादित है।
See, Preeti, there are current visuals coming in, the rich visuals. I can show you this bulldozer, the JCB out here, that there's a bulldozer coming in. I'll try to speak to them. ये आप निकाल रहे, क्या नाम है आपका?
ये बुलडोजर कार्यकर्ताओं ने निकाला है। मेरा नाम संजय तिवारी, मैं विश्व हिंदू परिषद का जिला उपाध्यक्ष।
क्या मैसेज देना चाह रहे हैं इस बुलडोजर के जरिए?
इस मैसेज ये देना चाहते हैं कि या तो अपराधी प्रदेश छोड़ करके बाहर चले जाएं, या अपने घर में बैठ जाएं। यह उत्तर प्रदेश में अपराध नहीं चलेगा। भूमाफिया, अपराधी, ये अपराध करण यहाँ नहीं चलेगा।
आप तो सरकार कम करेगी, आप लोग कम करेंगे।
अपराध सरकार कम कर दी है, जो बचे हैं वो चले जाएं।
So you can see the visuals out here in the front. You can see a lot of persons have. These are the BJP workers out here over the JCB, and they're trying to showcase how Yogi Adityanath has used bulldozer to, in a way, kill the crime in the state of Uttar Pradesh, for which it was always known. Preeti, back to you.
All right, Samarth, a lot of cadre and karyakartas right now outside the Chief Minister's residence, right here The stalls are filling up. If I can ask my camera person Sachin to actually show you, it's a terribly hot afternoon. You know, one must say the sun is blazing down on us. It's horribly hot, and I have to give it to all of those. You know, if you can see, the stands in the shade are actually all filled up. The stands in the shade are all quite filled up. The ones in the sun, even though they are closer to the dais, are the ones which still remain empty. And that's primarily because it's impossible to stand in the sun right now. It's beating down. It doesn't seem it's spring in Lucknow, but the height of summers. So, you know, this is what the stadium looks like. Also, if you can see, there is a little flower rangoli, and not a little, but a massive flower rangoli right in the middle of the stadium, which says Shapat Samaroh. And the Shapat Samaroh, to be precise, will begin at 4 p.m. right here at the Atal Bihari Vajpayee Ekana Stadium. It was Atal Bihari Vajpayee to whom both Amit Shah and Yogi Adityanath paid homage yesterday, right after Yogi Adityanath was elected as the leader of the legislative party. Yogi Adityanath's rise from mutt leader to the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh has been phenomenal. 2017, like Rahul Srivastava was also pointing out, he was a surprise face of sorts. He has etched his name now in the annals of Uttar Pradesh political history, or rather, the annals of Indian political history. Because if you remember, in 37 years, this would be the first time any political party has come to power in consecutive terms where UP is concerned. Has it set the narrative for 2024? Well, that's a matter of discussion for another day. But right now, this day clearly belongs to the king who's going to be coronated, if I might say. Yogi Adityanath, along with his 49 men, will be taking oath right behind me at the Atal Bihari Vajpayee Ekana Stadium. However, why has he been called the Bulldozer Baba? A lot of people, a lot of Karyakartas we saw today had a little bulldozer strapped onto their head. Well, Sushasana, security, is one of the main reasons as to why the bulldozer has been associated with Baba, making it Bulldozer Baba.
चलता रहे दंगाइयों को सख्त सजा हो।
It all started with Yogi Adityanath mentioning the bulldozer in his campaign speeches. It gradually became the poll mascot for the BJP.
हमारी सरकार केवल विकास ही नहीं कराती है, हमारी सरकार ने फिर बुलडोजर का भी उपयोग करना शुरू किया। और आज जब प्रदेश के अंदर विकास के साथ साथ बुलडोजर चल रहा है, तो भाइयों बहनों, आज ये सभी माफिया जो 4.5 वर्ष तक अपने बिलों के अंदर दुबके हुए थे, इनको ये लगा कि एक अवसर है कि फिर से किसी सत्ताधारी दल, किसी दल के साथ, सत्ताधारी ना भी हो, किसी दल के साथ जुड़ जाएंगे।
Today, the bulldozer has become a symbol of BJP's mega mobility through the Uttar Pradesh election.
As the results trickled in, the BJP workers erupted into a marathon celebration of sorts, and in focus was the Baba ka bulldozer that rampaged and teared through the opposition attack. The Baba bulldozer actually marking the thumping victory of the BJP, even as the workers didn't stop praising and actually praying that Baba ka bulldozer should be on a never-ending spree.
The Samajwadi Party mentioned the bulldozer first as a jibe. The BJP decided to wear it as a badge of honor. With Yogi Adityanath winning a historic second term, the bulldozer has become an affirmation of both his government's tough on criminals and high on development image. And that has become the metaphor of Yogi and BJP's victory. The bulldozer has completely flattened the bicycle. With his stunning return to power, Baba Bulldozer has now inspired Mama Bulldozer in Madhya Pradesh. Dozens of hoardings of Shivraj Singh Chauhan with the bulldozer in the background have come up in several areas of Bhopal, calling him Bulldozer Mama in the run-up to the 2023 Assembly elections.
और ये ट्वीट करने वाले जितने चिल्लाते रहे, गरीब की मौत पे भी राजनीति करते रहे, लेकिन मामा का बुलडोजर चला है, अब रुकेगा नहीं जब तक बदमाशों को दफन नहीं कर देगा।
From Maharaj Ji to Bulldozer Baba, from Sannyasi to CM, Yogi Adityanath is now firmly in the driving seat in Uttar Pradesh. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, so this is why Yogi Adityanath has also now come to be called Bulldozer Baba. As we have, since the morning at the BJP headquarters right outside the CM's residence, a lot of Karyakartas strapped with that mini bulldozer on their head. And scenes of jubilation right now, understandably. It's a huge mandate for Yogi Adityanath. I want to cut across to my colleague Chitra, but before that to tell our viewers the very latest, because a lot of eyes on what could possibly be the cabinet for Yogi Adityanath. We're getting to understand right now the CM's residence is Siddharthnath Singh and Shrikant Sharma. Both of them, Siddharthnath Singh was already in the cabinet as well. Both of them meeting the Chief Minister, Yogi Adityanath, the designate Chief Minister, mind you, Yogi Adityanath right now. So in all possibility, they themselves could find their spot in the cabinet. But let's cut across to my colleague Chitra. She filed this report.
उत्तर प्रदेश की राजधानी लखनऊ, जिसको दुल्हन की तरह सजाया गया है, क्योंकि आज का मौका बेहद खास है। आपको बता दें, आप देखिए जगह जगह चौराहों को किस तरह से भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने अपने रंग में पूरी तरह से रंग दिया है। जैसा कि इस वक्त आप देख पा रहे हैं, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की तस्वीर, योगी आदित्यनाथ की तस्वीर, बीजेपी के तमाम नेताओं की तस्वीर, ये कहते हुए हम निकल पड़े हैं प्रण करके नए भारत का नया उत्तर प्रदेश बनाने के लिए शपथ, राष्ट्रवाद की, सुशासन की, सुरक्षा की, विकास की। जगह जगह इस तरह के बड़े बड़े होर्डिंग्स लगे हुए हैं, जैसा कि आप देख पा रहे हैं। आपको बताते चले, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी बस कुछ ही देर के बाद यहां पर पहुंचेंगे, जिसको लेकर तैयारियां पूरी हैं। 12 राज्यों के मुख्यमंत्री भी यहां पर आ रहे हैं, जिसको लेकर शक्ति प्रदर्शन की तैयारी भारतीय जनता पार्टी की। जगह जगह इस तरह के मंच बने हुए हैं ताकि जब बीजेपी के नेता इधर से गुजरे तो उन सभी का स्वागत किया जा सके। आई लव लखनऊ भी आप देख पा रहे हैं। लखनऊ जो अपने ही मिजाज के लिए जाना जाता है, लेकिन अपने आप में बेहद महत्वपूर्ण। उत्तर प्रदेश के हर इलाके, चाहे बुंदेलखंड हो, चाहे रोहेलखंड हो, चाहे पूर्वांचल हो, उत्तर प्रदेश का ये मध्य इलाका लखनऊ, या इसके अलावा बात करें अगर हम खासतौर से पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश की, हर जगह से यहाँ पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता पहुंचे हुए हैं। एकाना स्टेडियम हम सीधे जा रहे हैं और आपको बताते चले, ये हिस्सा जहाँ से इस वक्त हम गुजर रहे हैं, ये पूरा का पूरा हिस्सा लखनऊ का दिल कहा जाता है। आज उस मंच से किस तरह की तस्वीरें दिखाई देती हैं, विरोधी दलों के नेता जिनको इनविटेशन भेजा गया है, क्या वो पहुंचेंगे वहां पर, इस पर लगातार रहेगी आज तक की नजर। अभी के लिए दीजिए इजाजत, हम सीधे पहुंचते हैं इस वक्त काना स्टेडियम। कैमरा पर्सन संजय कुमार के साथ चित्रा त्रिपाठी, लखनऊ आज तक।
Okay, so it seems the invitees have already started coming in and addressing the crowds to keep the momentum up in this hot, hot summer afternoon. I'll ask my camera person to close up. That's Manoj Tiwari. He was given the charge of Delhi but campaigned heavily in the Purvanchal areas of Uttar Pradesh. And as you can see, belting out for what he's famous for, and that's Bhojpuri music, a big draw in the Purvanchal area. Which borders Bihar of Uttar Pradesh. But the celebrations have already started. One by one, we are going to see all these leaders come in to try and keep the cadre motivated. And it's not a mean feat, because the kind of heat that there is, it's blazing hot right now. And right now, Manoj Tiwari there, trying to encourage the cadre. Every time we see, bursts of energy, then we see people flag down a little, and then you'll see one of the leaders of Bharatiya Janata Party come up to try and motivate the crowds and, get the atmospherics going. All right, so with these visuals of Manoj Tiwari belting out, well, this is one of the anthems of the BJP, by the way. During the campaign, this song was used quite a bit by many leaders, especially every time Yogi Adityanath was on a road show. So, with these visuals, let's look at the rise of Yogi Adityanath from being a Mahant, from the journey from a Mahant to be the CM caretaker the CM designate and soon to be CM.
A child named Ajay Singh Bisht was born on June 5, 1972 in a village in Garhwal. Little did anyone know that the boy would leave his family at the age of 21 and become a sannyasi known as Yogi Adityanath, who would eventually reach the top post of the country's most populous state. Although very little is known of his pre-yogi days, his father, Anand Singh Bisht, says his son always wanted to serve the people.
हमें भी खुशी है कि वो अपने मंजिल की राह देख रहे हैं और आखिर उन्होंने वो राह पकड़ ली और उसमें सफलता मिल गई उनको। फिर जन सहयोग बहुत मिला उनको। 325 विधायकों ने हाथ जोड़ करके खड़ा उनका समर्थन किया है। ये मुझे बड़ी खुशी है और मैं कल से ही बड़ी ऊर्जा मिल रही है मुझे।
Ajay Singh Bisht completed his BSc degree from HNB Garhwal University. In 1994, Yogi Adityanath became a disciple of Adityanath at the Gorakhnath temple. According to temple's traditions, his ears were pierced. He addressed Mahant Adityanath, his maternal uncle, as Guruji. Yogi Adityanath jumped into the political arena in 1998 when he was elected as a Lok Sabha member from Gorakhpur. This year saw Mahanta Adityanath, a key leader of the 90s Ram Temple movement, passing his baton to Yogi Adityanath, who emerged as a controversial Hindu leader known for his hate speeches. Yogi continued to win the seat for 5 times with large margins, except in 2004 when the Samajwadi Party's Jamuna Nishad gave him a tough fight. He won by just 5,000 votes. In 2014, Yogi Adityanath took over as chief priest of Gorakhnath temple after Mahanta Adityanath passed away. Adityanath's radical pro-Hindutva image came to the fore for the first time in February 1999, when he allegedly tried to capture a graveyard land by planting a peepal tree at Panchtukhiya village in Maharajganj district. A case under several sections was registered against him in the Kotwali police station. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, so that's the rise from a Mahant to now the designate CM of Uttar Pradesh. Manoj Tiwari just ending his little motivational speech for the cadre on this hot afternoon in Lucknow with Jai Shri Ram, and interestingly also sang Mera Rang De Basanti Chola. We're going to take a quick break, but our continuous rolling coverage from the Atal Bihari Vajpayee Ekana Stadium, where at 4 p.m. the Chief Minister designate Yogi Adityanath along with his 49 men will be taking oath in the presence of the Prime Minister as Chief Minister. A lot other dignitaries, political bigwigs, celebrities have been invited. How many of them show today? We'll keep you posted. To stay with us.
प्रारंभ होगा तो जिन लोगों में भी ज्यादा गर्मी निकल रही है, भाइयों बहनों, ये गर्मी 10 मार्च के बाद अपने आप शांत हो जाएगी।